Aldous can now stack all the way up to 1,000 stacks. We've got another batch of MLBB Advanced Server changes, and this update comes with some pretty interesting adjustments. But here's the interesting part about Aldous. Even though he can now reach 1,000 stacks, each individual stack is actually weaker than before. So while reaching 1,000 stacks sounds like Aldous is about to become a late-game monster, his maximum damage ceiling actually ends up lower than the current official server version. In other words, Moonton is trading raw power for consistency. You don't need every stack to be as valuable because you're going to reach them much faster. And there's another change that might be even more important. Aldous' passive shield now gives him a short burst of movement speed when it activates. That matters because after his movement speed was moved to skill 1, Aldous lost some of his ability to escape after diving into a fight. Now, the shield itself helps him disengage. The downside, his early shield strength has been reduced. But Aldous isn't the only hero getting a major adjustment. Sun is getting another round of improvements. After his previous changes, he's been performing better outside the roam lane. His skill 3 is getting more damage and a stronger slow. His ultimate is also dealing more damage when the doppelganger lands its attack. But the biggest part might actually be his clones. Sun's doppelgangers are becoming significantly tankier against skill 1 and skill 2 damage. And killing one of those clones will now give the enemy less gold. That means there's less punishment for Sun when his clones get taken down. But there's another fighter getting a change that could have a much bigger impact on actual gameplay. Alpha's early game has always been one of the areas holding him back, and instead of simply increasing his damage, the developers are changing how his passive scales. His passive will now scale with his total physical attack. That means his early to mid-game power should become more reliable instead of depending as heavily on the previous scaling. But his sustain is getting reworked too. Instead of healing the same amount from every enemy he hits, Alpha now gets more healing from the first target, with the healing decreasing against additional enemies. In a 1v1, Alpha becomes much more reliable at sustaining himself, and that could be especially important during the laning phase. This isn't just a damage buff, it's changing what Alpha is actually good at. And if you're an Alpha player, this is probably the change I'd pay the closest attention to, because CC gets a much simpler adjustment. His passive now provides more spell vamp per stack of Delight. That's basically a straightforward sustain buff. Nothing revolutionary, but it should allow him to stay in fights longer and recover more effectively. Mia is getting hit with a pretty significant nerf. The developers noticed that her teamfight damage and farming speed were both higher than intended. The problem came from her Moonlight Shadow Split arrows. They were dealing the same damage as a normal basic attack, while also inheriting her attack effects. That apparently wasn't supposed to happen, so those interactions are being reduced to match the original design, and the result is pretty straightforward: slower farming and less damage during extended fights. So if you've been enjoying how quickly Mia melts through waves and targets, expect that to take a hit. That's gonna be all for this video, so if you want more MLBB Advanced Server updates like this, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the video reach more players, and it lets me know you want more Advanced Server content.